It's been great. It's been a day of joy and celebration. It's great to see old friends, see people from around the world, raising hope. Pope Leo's message was so powerful. You know, he was continuing on Pope Francis's legacy. But one of the things he said that I really loved was, he said, you know, we need to move from data into the heart. We need to move from data to the heart and caring. And he said, the heart is not just a place of emotions and feelings. It's a place of freedom. It's a place of finding the authentic self. And I think when I heard him say that, I thought, you know what? That's it. Everybody's just trying to live in freedom, their fullest life, their fullest self, their vocation, and that's human and all creation. We all need to live in freedom and not in the bondage of environmental destruction.
Yeah, I agree with Amy. One of the most powerful statements he made was that it is time to move from data to working on speaking to people's hearts, because I think scientific data, although very important, it reaches a certain limit. But when we are talking about people's lives, people's communities, people's cultures, their stories, it's so important to express this in a way that is able to touch people's hearts and emotions. Not because we're trying to make people get emotional, but to let people know that this is the reality out there. There are people who are at the forefront of the climate crisis, and it's impacting their families, their livelihoods, children's identities, cultures and traditions. And it's important that from these big kinds of conferences and meetings that we are able to come out with something that will really impact at the community and family level. That this is not just another meeting to talk about policy and laws, although they are very important, but to see the heart, the human heartbeat that exists in these countries where who are at the forefront of climate change issues. Not only that, but I think also that now that Amy and I are talking around the cause of humanity, the plight of humanity, that we need to also keep reminding ourselves that it's not just about humans, but it's about the environment around us, the biodiversity, the animals, birds. How do these kinds of meetings truly touch people's hearts, so that they're not just thinking about themselves in this sort of in this world that we currently live in, where social media is like, we just focus a lot of attention on our needs and our wants, but how do we consider the environment around us, and how do we not only consider it, but our actions show that we believe in what we are saying about the need to care for creation. I think hearing the young men, I'm not sure what Pacific islands they were from, but hearing them sing, I believe the first one was Ave Maria, and then hearing the second song that they sang, I could really, that for me, that is what personified Pope Leo's message today to the heart, to the human heart. Because when they sang, you could really see that as they sang to the crowds today, that they were really thinking of their island homes, their families, possibly their children, and just the way that they sang with so much emotion. It really had me thinking back to the Pacific region, and just how these kinds of meetings, they represent important things that are being discussed, but that back home, these are the daily realities for many maritime, rural, and even urban communities when it comes to climate change and the impacts of it.
Thank you for sharing. And I think for me too, the cultural expressions through song and dance, that's under threat too. our people's cultures and livelihoods and spiritualities that may or may not fall within the Christian tradition. But we can't lose them. We have to fight for them. And absolutely, the Pacifican men, the women from Africa, I was very moved by their expression. And I think we forget about the arts and the power that the arts have to speak to the heart. So that was a really beautiful way to raise hope.